Welcome to Rauta's Reviews. This time I present you one of the albums that I have been anxiously waiting since 2020. Now, since 2020, why, you would ask? The thing is, Yoth Iria from Greece did one of my favorite releases of 2020. In fact, if it had been an album back in the days, that was this MCD they released with 3 tracks, that would have been my album of the year. But given that it was MCD or EP, well, couldn't really fit the album of the year in that sense. Anyway, I was already notified back in 2020 that these guys would do a full-length album that was supposed to be out in December 2020 or along those lines, but things got postponed, I guess, for the good, because now it has the chance, that is, the band has the chance to be one of the best of the year 2021. So we are here talking about Yoth Iria's debut album, As the Flame Withers. This came already out in January 2021, and you might be wondering why so late I'm getting this for review. Well, twists and turns happen in life, and sometimes it means that... Oops, broken. It was already broken, by the way, because I dropped something on it. Now, anyway, I was saying that, things get postponed every now and then for human factors. Anyway, here it is, finally, for review, even if a few months later. And this is indeed a good album with some beautiful cover art. So I'm totally enjoying it. Now, I won't be lying to you, because honesty is the only policy I can really handle with reviews. I was a little bit disappointed here. I mean, I liked the album. I liked it for the first time when I heard the digital promo, I think late 2020. But I was disappointed because this wasn't exactly as good as the EP. Now, don't get afraid. I still do like this album a lot. But when you have something really great to compare, you're kind of bound for disappointment so often. I mean, whenever you have your favorite band to come out and they're not exactly doing the stuff you're looking for, what else could it really be but a disappointment? Now, before we go on, I must say that this kind of art really speaks to me. First of all, it kind of invokes the kind of a classic black metal approach. I mean, you have inverted crosses, you have this kind of a demonic, kind of a godly figure, and then these miniature creatures, but it almost also takes me back to World of Warcraft around 2006, I'm guessing, where these had these kind of creatures reminding me of Egyptian gods, and there was this area. So it kind of takes me back, meshing with not only with this World of Warcraft feeling, but also at the time when I figured out black metal around early mid 90s. It was around 1994, I'm guessing, when I heard Rotting Christ the first time. And why this is worth mentioning is that, well, if you take a look at these bands' lineup, well, it's very much Rotting Christ related. This band is made by 2 main guys, Tim Mutilator from Rotting Christ and Verathron, being ex-member. And Verathron, much like Rotting Christ, are the key bands in old Greece black metal scene, along with, other bands, Necromantia, Zemail, and other names. And curiously enough, Magus doing the vocals has also not only Necromantia past, but also Rotting Christ past, and also links to Zemail and Thor Lord. So all these old Greek names, they're not really missing out many of these names, So there's this old Greece black metal connection and brought to this day. Now, the curious thing was with Yoth Iria's Under His Way EP was that it featured actually one of those Rotting Christ songs which were on these EPs. So not exactly taking a song from the albums, but from the era that both of these guys were part of. And later on, when they ventured other ways, well, that's a different story. But they kind of made the circle complete by having these cover songs from the era they were still part of the band. In my opinion, very, very interesting, even though I know it's kind of anecdotal information and a lot of people are like, what are you rambling about? Go to the fucking point! Start talking about the goddamn album. Now, given that this is a very, very new band, that is from 2019. These guys are veterans. They obviously know what they're doing. And as such, I am not surprised one bit that they made such great EP. Well, I was actually surprised that they made that great EP, being the best of 2020. But still, making this good a debut album, it's kind of a mind-blowing. I mean, obviously every now and then you hear these old factors, old veteran guys, pioneers of sorts, doing a new band and then just making a wonderful album. But way too often you hear all these old geezers doing not too good album. I mean, even when they have this experience, they're somehow unable to do it. So luckily, Yoth Iria was doing exactly different ways. I mean, they did great album to begin with, and that's what we are here to celebrate. Now, this album goes through 8 tracks, roughly 45 minutes plus, and they kind of go the same way what they were doing already in the 90s and with the previous EP, but this time taking it to the modern days in so many ways. So it's like all Rotting Christ kind of stuff, or inspired by the same elements, I would guess, is taken to 2020. And, well, 21 is the release year, but obviously the music was done before that. So it's like making this huge jump 25 years forward and creating this very interesting black metal, which is kind of almost melodic metal with atmospheric parts and almost like not the kind of black metal you're used to. I mean, forget everything you know about Swedish or Norwegian or Finnish black metal. This has nothing of the raw kind. It's actually very soothing, it's beautiful, it's very melodic, kind of epic also. I must really mention that at some points this album actually takes me to where Bathory was with Blood, Fire, Death, one of the greatest black metal albums of all time, which was also the divider between the old roar phase and the Viking metal era that came later on. And I guess people are still debating whether or not that is actually a Viking metal album or a black metal album, or is it a little bit of a hybrid both. I don't really care how you want to label it, how wrong you're going to say, oh, sure, you're wrong, you don't know nothing about black metal. I don't really care. What matters to me is if the music is good. And that is really good with Yoth Iria. Mind you, it's not Blood, Fire, Death, but it's kind of from the same pool of genes in a way, even though different country, different folks, and all that stuff. What matters for me here anyway is that this is beautifully crafted an album. You have those catchy melodies, you have these epic parts, which are then contributing to this atmospheric music, but you also have this little bit of this aggression when the tempo picks up, and there's certain kind of energy flowing outwards, as if these guys cannot sustain this energy and need to just blast it out. This then again creates this much longed for diversity with the album. It's just not repeating one or two kind of song patterns and then repeat it ad nauseam, but rather changing the course a little bit so you don't get bored, but you're like, okay, no, this is something different than where this album, got its beginnings. And as a result, in my opinion, this is a very, very cool album. Like I said, I was tiny bit amount of disappointed at first because this was not exactly the same as the EP. But with further EP and further album spins and comparing them to this EP, I was like, okay, I have to just adjust that this is a little different step compared to that one. I made peace with myself and my expectations and just gave this album the fair chance it is. And in my opinion, it's really, really good. Is it the best of 2021? I am pretty sure that at this point I can say, no, it's not. But it's definitely among the best ones. So given that there are plenty of good releases already out in 2021, which I have truly enjoyed, this is among the best of that top tier. Not the best, but among the best. And that alone should tell you why this is an album you want to listen to. Well, it's already out, been for a few months now, so you can pretty much just go for the Bandcamp or maybe purchase this physical product and go enjoy it. Just don't expect the kind of a raw kind of black metal, but more into the atmospheric and epic style with lots of good melodies, and you're good to go. Nicely executed, nice vocals, nice production. It's all there. Yoth Iria is, in my opinion, the next step in Greek black metal scene, and that is a scene you don't want to miss. So, go listen, go enjoy. and I hope you will. Bye bye.